Good afternoon, fourth grade. This is Mrs. Murillo. We're working today on equivalent fractions using division. So today I'm going to show you how you can use a multiplication chart to help you find the fraction that's equivalent in a simpler form. So when we are simplifying, our fractions are actually they're the same size, but they're in larger pieces. So we're putting that fraction piece into a larger chunk. I have 6/12, and I'm going to show you how you can use a multiplication chart to help you locate a common denominator that you can divide by. So since this fraction is 6/12, I'm going to look for the numbers 6 and 12 on my multiplication chart, and I want to find a pattern where I can see them in the same column. So if I look down this column 1, the ones columns for example, I see 6 and I see 12, but I want to keep going until I can get to the column that has the greatest number. So I'm going to actually start with 6 since that is the numerator. So as I look at 6, I see here's 6 and here's 12. I'm going to go ahead and circle them. So I have 6 and 12. And I can see that looking at this column, they are actually in the same column and they're in the 6th column. So that means they're both divisible by 6. So I'm going to go ahead and divide them both by 6/6. And I know that when I divide 6 by 6, that gives me 1. Okay. So I can write 1 over here in the numerator, and the next step is I need to divide 12 by 6. So I know 12 divided by 6 gives me 2. So I know that 6/12 is equivalent to 1/2. Okay, let's look at it. This is a real life situation for you. Mr. Johnson will receive a bonus if he sells 4/8 of the 72 cars in his automobile factory. This month he sold 36 of the cars. He claims he sold 4/8 of the vehicles and deserves his bonus. Is he correct? So in this real life scenario, we want to see, if you were the boss or CEO of this company and he was demanding his bonus, you would want to be able to tell him whether or not he deserved it. So let's see. He says the fraction we're looking for that's equivalent is 4/8, and there are a total of 72 cars in this factory. So that's the denominator. He says that he's already sold 36 of them. So that's my numerator. And Mr. Johnson wants to know if this is going to be equivalent to 4/8. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. I will show you using the multiplication chart again. So this time we had 36 and 72, and since this chart does not go up to 36, I will just start with the greatest number on the chart, which is 12, and I'm going to go down and see, can I find 36 and 72 in this column? Well, there's 36 and there's 72, and they're in the same column, so I'm going to circle them, and that means that I can divide both of them by 12 because they're in the row that's the 12 column. I'm sorry, the 12 column. So I'm going to divide 36 by 12 and 72 by 12. And if I trace the chart, follow the chart back, I can see that 36 times 3, or 36 divided by 3, gives me 12. So it's going to be 3. And I'm going to divide 72 by 12. 72 divided by 12, if I follow this row back, is 6. Okay. That gives me 3/6. That doesn't seem like it's equivalent to 4/8, but let me see if I keep going, if there's another number pattern that would work. So let's see, I can try a different one here. So let me see, what about if I go backwards? I have to double check. Is 11 going to have 36? No. Not in that row. What about 10? Nope, because those are all going to end in 0. But if I go to look at the nines column, I can see 36 and 72 are in that same column as well. So there's the pattern again, 36 and 72. This means they can both be divided by 9. So I'm going to divide 36 by 9, and I know that gives me 4 if I follow it back on the chart, the black number 4, and if I follow 72 back, that gives me 8. Wait a second. So it does look like 36 over 72, 36 of the cars that he sold is equivalent to 4 eighths. That means that Mr. Johnson has met his goal, and should he receive his bonus, we need to say yes, because that is 4 eighths, 36 over 72. All right, I hope that you have seen how you can find equivalent fractions using a multiplication chart. Oh, and I promised you one more method. Another way that you could also find this answer is by taking 36 over 72 and comparing that with 4 eighths. And cross multiplication would be another method to see if they are equivalent. So I could have done 72 times 4, and that would give me 288. And then I could have done 36 times 8. And when I multiplied that, 36 times 8, I would also get 288. And since those are equal, we could say, yes, these are equivalent fractions. So that's just one more way you could have solved this problem. Go ahead and scroll down and complete the assessment below, and we'll see you tomorrow.